It's your boy, Rich Slump, and I just came here, you already know, to keep it real. Hold on right quick. Let me let this play for a second. It's hot in here. And it started sweating. Every time the spirit moves, you get hot. Be encouraged. You know, I know this is a season where it's a lot of emotions, especially if you lost people, which I have, you know what I mean? Especially if this time might have been around the time where you lost people. It's a lot of emotions. I don't want to say negativity because all things are working. Believe that. But God knows, and He'll minister to your heart. He's close to the brokenhearted. Listen, I keep hearing in the spirit. I'm hearing a couple of things. I kept hearing, "Fear not, fear not." Let's see. I know there's a passage in the Bible specifically. Fear not, I am with you. I just keep hearing, fear not. Have no fear. I've been hearing it all week. And that's been a word of encouragement. And I've also been hearing, well done. I've been hearing that for about 2 weeks. Well done. And I feel that we're going through a doorway. We're going through a doorway. Okay, I got it right here. It's Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Yeah, it's real. And look, I'm looking on my computer. It says, get things done. Get things done. God is going to give us the strength to get a lot of things done. I know there's only 7 more days in 2024, but God created the world in 7 days. So there's so much more that can happen in these next couple of days. You know, within 3 days, there's prophecies that can unfold in your life. So I know within these next 7 days before the new year, you're gonna see a lot of things have shifted, and all things are gonna work for you. All things work according to the Master's holy will. And that was a mantra in 2021. Mo gave us that word. And we know that God has given us a lot of grace and strength over these last couple of years. And this is a marathon and not a sprint. So we've had a lot of progress and growth within these last 3 years. Remember, I just said 3 is a prophetic number. And I feel like I'm a completely different person. I feel like I know that I'm a completely different person, and I know that God has taken me from glory to glory. And I'm a living witness that God will do it for you. Man might not be able to walk with you, but God will. Man might not be able to encourage you, but God will. Man might not be able to stand firm on His word, but God will. The promises of God are real. The promises of God are real. And the promises of God are yes and amen. It says God has made us many promises. I'm looking through a few words. Isaiah 43:2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. That says it all. You know, my ministry is called Living Waters Ministry. And God has been working on us with that. And he'll launch us in due time. It's already happening. It's already done. You know, we're already in that thing. We're just waiting for the full manifestation, because we prophesy in part. He doesn't give us the totality of a thing. That's why we have to be careful speaking words to people, because we don't know the full story. We don't know what the outcome is. So if I were to just walk up to a person and say, God said you're about to lose your job and you're going to lose everything, I don't know that at the end of that, this man might be a millionaire. But because I might have insight and part of that prophecy, I could ruin somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I had a word for somebody a few weeks ago, and I knew they couldn't take it. So I kept kind of being nudged to say it, because I'm like, this might not be for me. This might be for their next season. God might not be telling me to say it for my benefit, but for the person that's coming behind me. Because everybody isn't God's mouthpiece. Everybody doesn't. Hell, some people aren't communicators at all. You know what I mean? So I released it, and I knew that they would behave just as they did. They couldn't handle it. But it was real. It don't matter what we want. God is going to have his way in the end. And I might not even be there to see it come to fruition, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's still real. It's still real. I've never seen his word come back void, honestly. Here's another promise. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in a future. That coincides with what we just said. That's Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you. I'm going to say it again, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in a future. And I'm a living witness that when God is using you and he has a plan for your life, he'll stop at nothing for that word to come to fruition. So don't grow weary in well doing. Continue to fight the good fight and finish the race. A lot of people give up at the halfway mark because they lose faith. But be encouraged. Encourage yourself. Don't wait for the next man. Don't wait for another word. Work with yourself. Work with God. You can do it alone. You can go it alone. Trust me, I know. I've been there. I remember when I was asking God to restore my family, and I'm in the restoration. I remember when I was asking God to put me in a position to be with my child so that I wouldn't have to make the sacrifices that I was making to make sure that he was okay. Put me in a position to, and a lot of single parents go through this, so I know I'm not alone in this. Put me in a position to be able to take care of my home and to be able to live life more abundantly. That's a word that I have been declaring and decreeing since 2021. And we're in the manifestation of that thing. We're working less and gaining access to more. And it seems like I never stopped working, to be honest with you. But I remember when I was working 2 jobs when I lived in Philly. And some days I wouldn't sleep. I would go straight from my job at the casino. I get off in the morning and I go straight to the job that I had as a houseman at a hotel. And God was carrying me, because when I got there, I could eat, and there was a lot of things I would have access to that were blessings. I didn't know those jobs were going to be a blessing. Then when I would go to my job at the casino, I was making more money than I'd ever seen. So I was asking God, why would I be placed in a place like this when all things are working? Just I had to stop questioning it because I was being put in a position to be seen, and he was preparing me. You know, I had to wear a suit and a tie every day, and that put me in alignment and in a different. It just changed the mindset. You know what I mean? All things are working, and don't question God. No matter what season you're in, say thank you. You know, there's been times where I've lost things, and I had to just say thank you. Thank you in advance for whatever reason you're letting this walk out of my life. For whatever reason you let this be destroyed. For whatever reason you let me take a loss at this job. Thank you in advance. For whatever reason you caused a gulf to be between me and this person. For whatever reason you caused me not to be able to pay my bills this month. For whatever reason you're unctioning me to cast my net again. I thank you in advance. Listen, we have a lot to be thankful for. I just know that there's going to be good things that are ahead in 2025, and we thank God. And I'm looking at a video on YouTube of where I was this day a few years ago. I don't even know if y'all can see this. We were on a mountain. We were going through the hills and valleys. We just read that. It was one of the promises of God, and he would be there with you through the hills and the valleys. I was stuck on a mountain. I don't know if y'all remember that. And then a man appeared. I was in California. I had stopped to go to the bathroom, and I got off of I-10, and somehow I'm traveling through a mountain range, and it has all type of crazy names, Devil's Den, Hell's Cove, things like that. And I'm being real. And it was just eerie. And I didn't have any phone service, and I was running out of oil. Listen. And I stopped on top of the mountain because my car was running hot, and it needed to cool down. And I had no service, and I didn't know where the next gas station would be so that I could get some oil. And I see that this was a prophetic experience. So instead of freaking out, I walked along the road, and I just talked to God. And I went to the very top of this mountain, and there was a space. It looked like a space for an altar. So I took some rocks, and I started building an altar. And I just prophesied over myself and told God, if you let me make it down from here, I'll establish my church on the rock. And God started just pouring his spirit out on me and giving me clarity and vision. And when I walked back to my car, a man appeared. He was a trucker. And for some reason, he had parked right behind my car. And I went and talked to him and let him know what I had going on. And he told me that he had to stop right there. And I'm not a trucker, so there was a reason why he had to stop. And he said that there was a gas station a few miles down the hill. If I could just go as fast as I could, I would make it down there to the next town. So I went and I looked through my things, and I found some brake fluid. And I put the brake fluid in the oil, in where the oil goes. And I had an old school Saturn. So I already knew what to do with that. These new school cars, you might can't do that. So, see, sometimes it takes for you to deal with the old school. The new school might not have that type of mechanism to be able to change out the oil like that. But anyways, I went down that hill and I made it. And I carried on and made it to my destination. I made it to LA. At that time, I think I was going to San Diego. Then I went to LA a little bit later. But yeah, God is great. God is awesome. And when it's time for him to take you to the place that he's promised to place you, thank him in advance. Give God a praise right now if you can, because I just know he's brought you out of something. If you're making it into 2025, you made it through COVID. You made it through that last messy breakup. You made it through that last position, that hellish position at your job. You made it through that terrible friendship. You made it through that affliction that your family was putting you through. You made it through with your kids, and maybe you didn't know how you were gonna make it. You're coming into 2025 blessed, and that's a reason to tell God thank you. I'm gonna go because I gotta go to my job and pick up some ends. I love y'all. I'll be back ASAP like Rocky.